What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Medical Mama Sold the Drama. Today, we're going to be talking about finishing Naomi's story. This episode, I want to finish Naomi's story, so hopefully we get to that. But first, I want to start with just discussing what has happened in the last week. So, starting off yesterday, I was able to take Naomi to the park for the first time. She's never been to the park. And if she has been, she's sat in the stroller. She hasn't gotten to do anything. So I put her in the swing and we slid down the slide one time. But I was able to just take some time to focus on just her enjoying the moment of being at the park. Because I took my nephew to baseball practice yesterday, and Noel and Nicholas went to vacation Bible school with my grandma. So while we waited on my nephew, I just took her to the park that's across the street from the baseball field. And we had a good little time. Like, she just was so happy to be out there. It was so good. The gratitude I feel, y'all, like, just seeing my baby so happy. I just keep looking at the pictures and the videos of the excitement she had just being out there and enjoying the outside, enjoying the swing, just doing normal baby stuff. And that's the stuff that I really took for granted before, and now I definitely don't take it for granted, and I cherish every single moment, because no matter how big or small the moment is, it's important, because you never know on these journeys as medical parents. Like, you never know when the last memory could be the last. If we being honest, you never know when they'll end up back in the hospital or end up sick or anything. So it was really, really good just to see her out there just being a normal baby, enjoying normal baby things, doing normal baby stuff, just because she can, because she out of that hospital and she not cooped up no more. She not stuck sitting in no room, laid up in the bed. I can take her where I want to take her, and she can do whatever we want her to do, because she's able to do that now, because she's free from that hospital. So I'm excited about that. And I know it might not sound like I am, but I am very excited about that. And then moving on, she went to her pulmonary hypertension appointment today. So she used to have really bad signs of pulmonary hypertension prior to her surgery. And so they had been following her the whole time she was in the hospital. But by the time she was discharged in January, they really weren't seeing many signs of it. But she was still sick, so it was like showing a little bit, but not terribly. So they still went to see us outpatient. So this was our outpatient appointment. And praise the Lord, it was a one and done. Knock on wood. We don't have to go back to pulmonary hypertension for any other reason, and her cardiologist can just follow her pulmonary hypertension. But yes, all of the signs of her having pulmonary hypertension are gone, and the only way they will be able to test the pressures would be for her to go to the cath lab, the pressures of her heart and her lungs, or the way her heart beats and stuff. Anyway, the only way they'll be able to check the accurate pressure is to take her to the cath lab, but she's not in dire need, so they're not gonna take her to cath lab. They can tell from the echo that it's fine. And then on top of that, her breathing is so good. They want me to start weaning her off of, completely discontinue her midday dose of albuterol, and then wean her off of her morning and evening dose, but she'll still be on her Flovent inhaler. We're moving in the right directions. When I say I done screamed and hollered about being so excited about this earlier, so I can come on the podcast and be a little chill, but y'all just don't know how excited I am for my baby, because when I was sitting in that appointment, I literally almost cried. When she told me to discontinue the inhaler, start discontinuing it, because my child has been through a lot. As y'all know, y'all been here through all of these episodes trying to get her story. And like I said last time, she was supposed to get a trach. They did not think that she was able to breathe on her own. And now my child is breathing on her own. No oxygen support. She has a tank and stuff at home and all of that stuff. We have the things that we need in case she needs it. But she ain't needed it. She has not needed it. And I thank God for that. It just took time for her lungs to grow. And that's what they had told me way back when. Like, it's going to take time. Her lungs going to be floppy for a while. But, like, the older she gets, the stronger her lungs will get. She'll get stronger. And time is all she needs. Time is all most of these kids need. Like, the trying to rush them to get to a certain point, that doesn't work. They need the time. So, although Naomi spent 414 days in the hospital, and some of them days probably could have been, like, avoided or shortened, but she needed the time to get to where she needed to be to get well. Like, all of that time put her in a position to be well, to be able to be home and not have to be rushed back to the hospital. And just all of these things. So, today I am filled with gratitude. I am happy. My child is thriving. She trying to crawl. She trying to stand up. Trying to walk. I really think she gonna walk before she crawls. But she does a little cruise, a little scoot type of crawl. So, but she is just thriving so well. Thriving so well. And God has been so faithful. So that is what is going on this week. I was excited to tell y'all about it. But I am so filled with gratitude about taking my baby to the park. Like, the days I never thought I'd see used to be like, my mind was so closed. The furthest I was thinking, like, oh, we can take a walk around the unit. When she was in the hospital so long, she really never really left the unit. She couldn't leave the unit because she was intubated so long. So she couldn't do a lot of things. So when I think about it now, I'm like, my parameters have grown, because it was a point where I was just like, oh, can we just take a walk around the unit if we can't go to the garden? Because that was my goal, was to get her to the garden at a certain point when she was at Eggleston. And this was actually right after she had her surgery, the re-repair. It was right after the re-repair. But anyway, my goal, even before that though, they had took her outside, but my goal was always to get to the garden, to take her outside so she can experience outside. But if I couldn't get her to the garden, I was just like, I'll settle for a walk around the unit. So to think that my parameters have grown so much that I can take my baby in the car to the park and put her in the swing myself, from, oh, can we just go to the garden maybe? It just makes me so happy. It just makes me so happy. I just love seeing the excitement that Naomi has just about being alive and experiencing all these things that she just never was able to before. So it's been good. It's been really, really good. It's been a good week, and she's been her normal Naomi self. So we're moving on back to finishing the story, because see, usually my first whole half be like 30 minutes, but we gonna finish this. We gonna finish Naomi's story today. So last time we left off, she went into cardiac arrest, and so now we were talking about what would be the plan, like if her lungs and her heart weren't good. Will she need a transplant? Will we just give up? Will we just, like, let it be what it's gonna be? We just really didn't know. So they ended up taking her. She ended up going to cath for this to figure out what was going on. They did know it was a leak in her heart, but they wanted to know, like, the pressures of the leak and how bad it was, and it was pretty severe. That's when they found out that was the baffle, the leak in the baffle or whatever. So they told me, we're going to have to go back and she's going to have to have surgery again. And I was like, okay. Like, and at this point, like I said last week, I was really, because they were moving hospitals. If you listening to this and you don't know nothing about Eggleston or Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, the system, they built a new hospital over these last several years, they've been building the hospital. So last year it opened on September 29th, and my goal was I really want Naomi to be home before they move, because I don't want to have to move to the new hospital. I just want to be home and settled in, and we in our own space. So when she had her surgery in June, I was like, okay, I see the light. Like, we gonna go home probably in a month, 2 months. We won't have to be, she might be on some oxygen support, and that's cool, but we won't be, she'll have a good heart. Like, you know what I'm saying? We won't be here. But then when she had cardiac arrest, I was like, I don't see us going home. This was, at this point, by the end of June. So this was like maybe June 20-something. So I'm like, she had to wait, because she had just had the surgery 2 weeks prior. 2 or 3 weeks prior. She had to wait 6 weeks total for it to heal. And then they didn't want to go back in like immediately. So they wanted to give her some more time to just chill. So I was just like, there's no way, even if she gets the surgery before, like if she got the surgery in August, she wasn't going to be home by the 29th. It just wasn't realistic. She wouldn't be home by the 29th of September. It wasn't realistic in my mind. So I immediately, one thing about me, what I learned was, you have to live in realism. You have to just be, you can be sad about it immediately, and in the first day or 5 minutes or whatever, you can be sad initially, but you have to be realistic. You have to be realistic. You cannot just be sitting here like, flowers and rainbows. Although I was living on flowers and rainbows too, but you have to also be realistic. So my realism was, she probably just not gonna be home by then. It just, because I know how her hospital stay had been, surgeries, how they set her back, all of those things, I just knew, yeah, we're moving to that new hospital. So I had already just started preparing my mind for it, and not being sad about it, because before this incident, I had stopped asking about going home. I didn't talk about going home. Ask anybody. It was not a discussion about going home, really, ever. The only kind of discussion we would be having was like, we don't want her to have to move to the new hospital, but we didn't talk about, oh, what's the plan for her at home? Oh, we think she'll be home in the next few weeks. No. I didn't ask that type of stuff, because I start way back in like January, February, I got discouraged. Because when I asked, it was like, I don't know, she'll be here for a while. She has a lot going on. So I'm just like, I started sitting with the fact of, she'll be here for a while. And it is what it is. My dad even told me, because I was like, people keep asking me when she coming home. My dad said, you need to tell them to stop asking you that. She'll be home when she'll be home. And I was like, that's true. That's not don't ask me no more. Don't ask me no more, because I don't know. She just has to be in the hospital till the time is right. So at June, at that point when she had her surgery, everything, I started seeing the light of, okay, she really will go home eventually, like, because she was getting better, and like I said, she was extubated for a while and stuff like that. So I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. So this really like set my whole everything back, like, wow, even you thinking she'll be home by the beginning of the school year, you won't have to worry about that. No, should reset your mind. And I did. I reset my dang on mind. I said, well, we'll be here on the 29th. And we was there on the 29th of September. But before that, so in the time between her June surgery and her re-repair surgery, nothing much was really going on. Like, nothing was really happening. July came, August came, school started back. So I wasn't, once school started back, I wasn't able to be there every single day like I was, because I had spent the summer staying in my mom's house. And at that point, I was thinking, okay, we'll do the summer, we'll go home. She'll go home, we'll go home, we'll all be good, whatever. So I spent the summer in my mom's house and just going back and forth to the hospital. So when school started, I had to go back home, and we had to go back to our schedule of weekends only. And hated it. hated it. Okay. It was literally just, it made me hated it. Like, it made me so upset because here we are back in this position again. Like, my child was supposed to be gone home. What are we talking about? Like, why is she still here? Well, we know why she's still here, but why is she still here? So, yeah. No big, like, crazy events happened. She probably might have got, like, sick maybe during that time. Because when I tell y'all, at a point, I got so serious about no mask, no entry. Like, you could not come in my child's room without a mask on. Naomi had so many, like, pictures and stuff on the wall. I think I've said this before, but pictures all over the wall, pictures on the door outside her room because her room had a door. So she had pictures all on the door and signs up, schedule up. Like, I had got to a point where she had been there so long that she needed a schedule, and I had to set rules and boundaries for that room because people was just all up in there. And then, I forgot to say last week, shout out to Susu, okay? Because when Naomi moved to room 19, they had cabinets and stuff in there, and her stuff was, she had so much stuff then or whatever when she first moved to 19. And Susie arranged the whole room, put stuff in the cabinets. They labeled the cabinets and everything. When I tell you my baby, her primaries just love them down. But anyway, that didn't have nothing to do with nothing. But it kind of did. Anyway, so that kept the room organized. But then, like, my signs, I didn't play about. I put no mask, no entry. She had a sign up that said no bow, no go. Because she used to have a whole lot of hair, and I used to she had a bow. She needed a bow every day. If you didn't put a bow on her head, you was the problem. She needs a bow. No bow, no go. What else was up there? Yeah, the survival guide, which was the schedule. I put a sign up there that said slow and steady wins the race, because they was always trying to rush her to, like, oh, let's try this, let's try this, let's try, and that didn't work for her. Moving fast does not work for medically complex kids. And I want these people in the hospitals to understand that a lot of these kids do not do well when they try to rush them through stuff, rush them. It just don't work, because then you end up getting set back. You done took 5 steps forward, now you 3 steps back because you want to be rushing. Just let time. These kids need time. The time is needed. Like, I can't stress that enough. The time is needed. So, yeah, she had a sign on her door that said slow and steady wins the race, because they did rounds outside of the room too. So I wanted that reminder. When you look at this door, remember, don't try to go fast on her. She's slow. She needs to go slow. She had signs up that were about, like, making sure she looked to the left, and just another one that was like, bolus me. Try to call me before you bolus me. I'm a baby. Something like that, it said. But yeah, I did not play about the signs. I did not play about the warnings, because it's some nurses that be coming to work sick. And y'all gotta stop that shit. If you a nurse and you listening to this and you go to work and you be sick, especially if you work in pediatrics, stop that. Oh, what's my job? My job. Your job is not more important than my kid's life. And if you come in here sniffling and sneezing and coughing and hacking, mask or no mask, but you better definitely have a mask on anyway, mask or no mask, I don't want you in here. Because my child is very susceptible to getting any little thing. I just sniffled. Like, a sniffle can get my child sick. I don't want you in here. The parents don't want you in the room if you was a little bit sick. Stay at home. Stay in the bed and rest. Even if you don't stay in the bed, just don't come to work. Don't bring your sickness up in that hospital with all these sick kids. Especially when they got heart problems, and then the sickness make everything worse and worse and worse. Don't do that. I don't know what you need to do that day, but take off if you're sick. Stop coming to work sick and walking up in these rooms like, oh, I'm wearing a mask. COVID got y'all thinking because I wear a mask, I'm not going to be contagious. Stay at home. Just stay home. That's what COVID really should have taught everybody. The best way to stay well is to stay home. So if you sick and you a nurse or anybody that work up in these units in this hospital, be it EVS, the unit secretary, anybody, stay home. Stop coming up in there sick. It's ridiculous. Up in these kids' room for 12 hours. Stay home. Stay home. Y'all gotta stop coming to work sick. It's just not okay. So I did not play those games. Like, no, you do not enter this room without a mask. And if you're sick, you damn sure ain't entering this room at all. Like, you're not. Even for me, like, no. And I never really got sick. I did have runny nose sometimes, but at the most, I never really got sick. So when I did get sick, I was like, why would I get sick right now? But we're gonna get to when I got sick in a minute. But other than that, yeah, no, I didn't play those games. I just was trying to keep my baby as healthy as possible because I did not want her to not be able to have surgery. And then once she had the surgery, I did not want her to get sick again after the surgery. So stay your sick ass away from here. Okay? Put on a mask. I don't care if you're sick or not. Mask on. Hands wash. And I really don't have to say that because everybody pretty much use hand sanitizer. But let me say this though. They just hand sanitize a lot nowadays. Like, I'm sure when they come into work, not sure. I know for a fact when they come into work, they have to scrub or whatever. But they hand sanitize the rest of the day. Hand sanitize. Like when they in the rooms and stuff. I do think that we need to do some hand washings in between of the hand sanitizer. I will say that to add on to my thought process about sick people coming to work. We need to be hand sanitizing, right? But also washing hands with soap and water too. No? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we need to be in between. Yeah, I know you're going to the bathroom. You washing your hands in the bathroom. We need to be doing some hand washing in those rooms. We need to be doing that. At least every 4 hours on the shift, you need to be washing your hands. Hand sanitize anytime else. Is that too much to ask for? I know y'all don't think it's too much to ask for, medical mamas and daddies. I know y'all don't. But come on. We need to be using soap and water as well as hand sanitizer. Okay. So let's get back on track. But that's all. I just spent a whole 10 minutes talking about cleanliness. But dead serious, in these hospitals, you really cannot play no games. So yeah, I just spent all of that time making sure my baby was well. I did not play. I don't want no sickies around. She needs to be well. Any little thing Naomi can get, she will pick up. Any little thing that she could pick up, she could pick up. Besides that, as I said before, she does not have a spleen. So she takes amoxicillin to help combat that. But that makes it easier for her to get any virus, any respiratory sickness, anything like that. Very easy for her to pick that stuff up because she doesn't have a spleen and she's susceptible to many things. So literally, we just waited till surgery, as I keep saying. So September 5th is when she ended up having surgery. I don't feel like nothing significant. I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget nothing from July to September, but I don't think I did. Nothing was happening. School started back. I was back on my weekend schedule, and that was just that. But yeah, so she ended up having her re-repair on September 5th. And the anxiety, because I ain't talking about this, the anxiety of waiting for your child to come out of surgery, no matter the length of the surgery, is very stressful. So they text you and call you and throughout the surgery, the procedure, well, at this point, they just been doing texts. But, when she had her first surgery, they was calling me. But, yeah. So, it's they'll say the procedure has started. And every hour they'll update you. The procedure is still happening. And then once it's done, they'll say, the procedure is finished and we are now preparing the patient to go back to her room, and they'll call you and let you know when you come back to the room, whatever. But that's how those messages go, those updates go. But it's the anxiety you have just sitting there waiting, praying to God that things go well, praying to God that, your baby make it off of that table. It's just stress the whole time. That's all I'm thinking about. Is she okay? Is she okay? Counting down the hours, because they like 6-hour surgery, 5-hour surgery. And heart surgeries is never as long as they expect them to be. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but yeah, she ended up having her surgery, and I waited. Me and my grandma waited. This was still at Eggleston, so she had her surgery right before they moved to the new hospital. And the surgery went phenomenal. Dr. Rosenblum was like, he told me he felt very, very confident this time, like very sure. He was sure he fixed it. He was sure that everything looked good in there, like everything was right. And so I was like, okay. And this time, not saying the first time that I doubted him, the first time he just seemed more like, I did the repair. But I don't know how well this repair is going to be for her heart. Not saying that he didn't do what he was supposed to do, because Joshua did what he was supposed to do. But because Naomi's heart anatomy is so complex, he was just like, I did it, but she a little more complex. So I'm hoping that it does what it needs to do. But this time he was like, I fixed it. I know I did it right. I redid this. I did an extra patch on here. He made sure. And I think the first time he went in, he wasn't going in blind, because they printed a 3D model of her heart and stuff. So he wasn't going in blind, but he didn't know what exactly he needed to do to fix what he needed to fix. He went in and fixed what he needed to fix, and then thought that what he did would have been enough, not thinking that she would have needed an extra patch or anything like that. So because he had went in the first time and he already saw what was going on in there, he knew when he went in the second time, okay, this is what I need to make this patch bigger. I need to do how I need to fix this. And they spent all of that time from the first surgery to figuring out she needed a new surgery, until her re-repair. They spent all of that time studying, and obviously they study all their patients, but studying, coming up with a surgical plan and all of these things. So he really definitely did it right this time, because we ain't had no problems. Knock on wood again. We ain't had no problems since then. So September came, she had her surgery. And then I went to my mama's house the week before move day. My mom wasn't feeling well, but I wasn't really around her that much. I did drive. We rode in the car somewhere together. But that was literally the only time that I was around her, because I was already I don't want to get sick, but she said she wasn't feeling well or whatever. So I was cautiously staying away from her. She got COVID, girl. She ended up having COVID. And I was like, I been around my baby. Because wherever I had drove her to, she wasn't so damn bad that I was thinking oh yeah, this is bad. But she just wasn't feeling well. So me driving her in the car wherever we went, I didn't think it would be a problem, but clearly it was, girl. Clearly it was a freaking problem. So she ended up having COVID. Then I started feeling sick that Monday or Tuesday. And I was like, y'all know. I was like, man, I know I'm sick. I couldn't breathe through my nose. I felt so terrible. And I was like, I know I got it. So I took one of them at-home COVID tests. I had COVID. And move day was on Saturday. I was distraught. Or no, it was that Sunday, sorry. I was distraught because why would I get COVID now? Of all the times. Why would I get COVID? My child is moving to a whole new hospital. She got to get an ambulance. This is the first time she really going outside like that. I'm not going to be there to be able to be there with her. What is this about? what is this about? So I just stayed home and tried to be well. And my grandma stayed with Naomi and moved to the hospital with her. So the move was, I guess, a cool experience. I have to have my grandma on to tell y'all about it. But, like, I know that they gave them all blankets. So I would have had my child, I would have let my child be on the news, but I wasn't there to sign no consents the week prior to or whatever. So they gave them all blankets, and anybody who had a green blanket, they could be filmed, and the red blankets meant no filming. So if you seen it on TV when they did the big move and all the kids had green blankets, it's because those parents allowed those kids to be filmed. But yeah, Naomi was one of the first people from the CICU to be moved. And my grandma was like, they had that was a whole production. They had been talking about it like all that time prior to, obviously, but it was a whole production. They had shut down the roads. They had so many ambulances out there. It was just a whole big production. When Naomi arrived, everybody was there waiting on her because she still is, but she was the unit celebrity. She was the unit queen. So everybody was just very excited to see her. Very excited when she showed up. Naomi's here. And she just laying up there on the stretcher like, okay, I'm here. And let me talk about Arthur Blank for a minute. As in not the man, the hospital. The hospital is so nice, y'all. Like, oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. All of the things are so beautiful. It has all of the nice amenities. But let me tell you, I miss Eggleston so bad. I miss the food at Eggleston. I miss the intimate closeness of Eggleston. I miss the garden at Eggleston. I just miss Eggleston. I miss there not being more than 6 floors in that hospital. I miss Eggleston. Arthur Blank is great. It is an amazing facility. They're able to do amazing things there and help more children than they ever were able to help at Eggleston. So I'm not discounting all of those things, but I have a lot of mommy complaints, a lot of parent complaints, a lot of little miscellaneous things as a family that was at Eggleston prior that knows what the aura or the morale or whatever the word is I'm trying to grab out of my brain that's not showing up. I'm one of the parents that knows like what that felt like at Eggleston. So to transfer us to this new hospital, and I'm not saying just us, I'm saying all of the other parents that experience the same thing. And I'll talk to other parents who also are not very fond of this new hospital because it's just not the same. The energy is not the same, and it's a lot of stuff that feels like for-profit reasons more so than because we love our families, because we're taking care of our families, because our families are important to us, because our employees are important to us. It's so many people that I know from Eggleston that did not go or did go to the new hospital and then have quit because it's just not the same. Love all of those people, but the energy is just not the same at the hospital. And the units are so big that it's hard to even know if people are there, and they're separated. It's just not the same. Also, they barely gave Henrietta Eggleston any props. And this lady created the whole children's healthcare system, right? I mean, Scottish Rite and children's healthcare merged together, but the children's healthcare of Atlanta system exists because of Henrietta Eggleston. And without her, none of this would be possible. And they did not honor her enough, in my opinion. That's all I have to say about the hospital. Let's get back to Naomi. So, she just thrived at the new hospital. She did. She had her little special room. And she had a good view. Now, that is something I get at hospital, too. They got some good views. The garden is beautiful. They got the amenities for the kids and all of that stuff. But the views are nice. The views is nice. Even from the 4th floor, the views are nice. The view from the 14th floor is real good too. It's high up, but it's a good view. But all of the views, if you're on the right side of the hospital, all of the views are good. Some of the views you get like the back of a building or something. But most of the views you get to see like the city or the hospital, the garden, like overlooking the garden into the city or something like that, or in front of the hospital still looking into the city. And then there's the ones with the bad look of the back of the building. So yeah, but it was a beautiful view. She had a wonderful room. We arranged that room. The one thing about that room though, it could be arranged like any kind of way because it had the movable booms or whatever, and that's where they like connect her stuff. The booms, that's what the booms is for. So like connecting her things, like plugging stuff in and all of that stuff. All of that stuff can be moved around the room so the room can be reconfigured any kind of way. And also surgery can be done in those rooms, so they can move it and fix it any kind of way they need it to be. But she just kind of chilled and thrived the rest of the time. She ended up getting extubated. And then we took her outside. That was probably August. No. Well, yeah, that was August because that was still at the new house. I mean, at Eggleston. So she got extubated at Eggleston. She did get reintubated when she got to the other hospital, though. But she got extubated at Eggleston because she got sick after that for some... I don't remember what she got sick from. Anyway... But she only was intubated for maybe like a week. At the new hospital, yeah, she just chilled out. She got sick. Every time she got sick, had to get reintubated, but it was only for a week. And she might have got sick 2 more times after that. And the second time that she got sick, she was pissed. That was her birthday. And that was when she got astrovirus. And she was very pissed about being intubated. At that point, she was 1 year old, so she definitely was moving a whole lot more. She was not happy about that, y'all. Like, I'm going to put the picture in there. She was looking at me like, if you don't get this tube out of here, we're going to fight. Okay? But she got astrovirus one time. I think she got rhinovirus another time. But astrovirus was like the last sickness. And what is astrovirus? I have no idea. It's just something that kids be getting. I do know that. Kids be getting it. So, yeah. What happened? October, my birthday came. Halloween. She was so cute on Halloween, y'all. Like, I don't have much to say because really nothing much was happening at this point. She was so cute on Halloween. She dressed as... Who did I dress her as? Pebbles? Yes. I dressed her as Pebbles. And she was like the cutest in her little outfit. Halloween, and then her birthday came. And we had to celebrate her birthday at the hospital. I took Nicholas out of school on her birthday so that we could go to the hospital, and she was intubated and sick as a dog. Sick as a dog. She wasn't even awake. And I was just like, my poor baby. Like, why did this happen? Mind you, so what I had asked was, they was about to get ready to discharge her to TICU. So because she was still on so much, she wasn't on a lot of oxygen support, but she needed the CPAP machine to sleep at night. And so she had to go to the TICU. That's the technology dependent ICU. So it's not really ICU like that, but it's ICU because they are like on ventilators and stuff. So all of the kids that's in the TICU are like, again, on ventilators or on some type of support to sleep or to something. If you got like a trach or anything like that, any type of respiratory support, if you own any of that, they have to go to the TICU once before they get discharged. So usually though, when they get discharged from the CI, they would go to the CACU, the cardiac acute care unit, the step down unit. But she needed that CPAP, so she had to go to TICU. So she was supposed to get discharged to TICU like a week prior to her birthday. But I said, can she just stay here? Because I want to celebrate her birthday down here with y'all. And like the doctors was like, yeah, that's not too much of a request. That's called building relationships, you know? And when people love you, they'll do things for you. And I think that is too much that you're asking for. But anyway, they were like, yeah, of course she can stay out here and we'll just let her go. She ended up getting sick, so she ended up staying there even longer. She spent another month in the ICU. So at this point, this is at Christmas. And she got to spend, she hadn't had Susie as her nurse in a long time, so she had to spend one of her last nights in the ICU with Susie, in the CI with Susie. And I think they sent her to the TICU on Christmas, the day after Christmas, so December 26th. And TICU was interesting. It's just not, it wasn't the CI, so it wasn't what I was used to, but I still built relationships with people up there. Shout out to Miss Ramona. That's the only lady whose name I can remember, because she was always taking care of my baby, and she did not play by Naomi. But it was a lot of people up there that were very sweet, very good people, very, very good people. But it was just different, and I miss being in the cardiac ICU, or just being in the cardiac units, period, because we just cardiac people, we cardiology. But it was just an interesting little ride. But we was only there for a month. So January 28th, 2020, baby got discharged. Okay, and we went where? Home. HOME. And we have been thriving since then. She did go back to the hospital in March because me and her both was sick. She had the original coronavirus and flu B. So she had to spend like 2 or 3 weeks there. And then in May, she got her G-tube. Mind you, in March when she got sick, that was when she was supposed to get her G-tube and her ostomy reversal. But we had to reschedule, so she got it in May 16th. So she's had her G-tube for almost 2 months now. And she is 19 months old. And she is, like I said, living her best life. Living her best life. I wish I could be living my best life like her. But I am. I'm living my best life with her. We doing it together. So, yeah. And that is literally where we are with Naomi's story. This is we in the present. So, I'm updating y'all as time goes. And that's it on that. So, moving forward, I'm going to start taking Warrior Spotlight stories. So if you want me to talk about your warrior, please send it in. I also might start posting warriors on the Facebook page too, and the Instagram. Just spotlight on my warrior. I don't want to do Warrior Wednesday because I feel like people do that already. But just a warrior spotlight. I'll do spotlight that warrior on the episode and on the page during the week. But anyway, if you want me to talk about your warrior, please send in, let me know. And then you can send in a few paragraphs or whatever about your warrior, just telling us about your warrior, their story and their name and who they are and where they are. Now, I'm taking warrior requests that are still here on this side and that are not still here, because at the end of the day, they still warriors. So if you want to tell me your story and your warrior not here, that is okay. We gonna spotlight your warrior and just talk about how amazing their fight was. So yes, this is the end of Medical Mama this week. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope I talked about something y'all wanted to hear. I hope that y'all are satisfied and have enjoyed hearing Naomi's story. I have no idea where I'm going with this podcast next episode. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. But so send me some suggestions or some things y'all want to hear me talk about, or some questions y'all have. Anything. Put it in the comments. Send me a DM. Please interact with me, okay? I like being interacted with. I don't even interacted. Did I say that right? Anyway, I like that, so comment, share. But seriously, please, in the comments, let me know some things you want to know about, some things you want to talk about, some things you think would be good for me to discuss that you haven't heard me discuss, or that you think we still early in the podcast. It's a million things we can talk about. So please just let me know whatever y'all want to hear or talk about or whatever. But until next time, I'm going to be checking out. Talk to y'all soon. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Like, comment, share, subscribe. See you next time. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to Medical Mama Soul the Drummer. I can't wait to keep venting and oversharing with you guys. Please tune in next week, and I'll see you later. Medical Mama out.